Hi, welcome to the final episode of Pop Culture Beast's Halloween Horror Picks. I'm your host, Ryan Stockstad, director of the upcoming horror movie Eggs, starring Lynn Lowry from Shivers and Duane Whitaker from Pulp Fiction. We are in the final days of our Kickstarter campaign, so please go check us out. We could use your support. Today I want to tell you about arguably one of the best horror movies ever made, and the father of the modern zombie movie.
The dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living. The living whose bodies are the only food for these ungodly creatures. Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. This movie really launched the contemporary modern zombie formula, zombies as we know it. It wasn't until Night of the Living Dead that cinema had the rules of the zombie genre, the idea that the zombies came back to life, they feasted on the living, they wanted to eat your brains or your flesh. In order to kill them, you had to shoot it in the head or destroy the brain. Zombies being afraid of fire, zombies being slow-moving, even things like the electronic music score. All of this stuff that became tropes of the zombie genre were really established properly and for the first time in this film. Night of the Living Dead was co-written by George Romero and John Russo. It was directed by George Romero, and it stars Duane Jones, Judith O'Dea, Karl Hardman, Marilyn Eastman, Keith Wayne, Judith Ridley, and Bill Hinzman as one of cinema's most iconic zombies. One of the things that I love about this movie is that it's still shocking even today.
Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
At the time it was released, audiences were completely affronted by what they were seeing on the screen. And it can't be overstated just how disturbing the film was. And it wasn't just the gore. It's the fact that this film offers a completely nihilistic and oppressive worldview. There are no easy answers. The police, Washington, D.C., the media, not even the film's heroes have the right answers necessarily. It suggests that we're living in a completely hopeless and no-win situation. For that alone, I think the film is still just a completely brutal, bitter pill to swallow, even for contemporary audiences.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Another thing that I love about this film is the fact that it's a pure political movie with social commentary. George Romero has sort of backed away from that a little bit, even though all of his sequels have been progressively more political than the last. In this one, he kind of said that it was sort of a happy accident, but it's kind of hard to believe that he accidentally stumbled into a political picture. The simple fact that the hero of the story is played by a black man, in 1968 no less, is political enough, but then that you see him, punch a white woman, take charge of the situation, confront the white male patriarch is overtly political and quite powerful, even today.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly, I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Now, at the time the movie was made, they'd been considering a number of different working titles, and one or two prints were struck under the name Night of the Flesh Eaters. But by the time they released the film theatrically, they'd settled on the title that we know it as, Night of the Living Dead. Unfortunately, due to a mistake, the distributor left off the copyright information from the title screen, and the film, as a result, was actually immediately entered into the public domain. At some point, I believe in the 70s, copyright law closed that loophole. But at the time, the film immediately went into the public domain, and as a result, reportedly, George Romero hasn't seen a dime for this movie. The distributor was able to reap all the profits. As a result of that, the film has been released probably thousands of different ways on DVD and VHS over the years. The version that I watched for this show is the version that was released by Alpha Video in 2002. Now, Alpha Video doesn't really have a strong track record. They're kind of a cheapy little knockoff DVD company. They put out bare bones releases, and certainly Night of the Living Dead is no different. This is not the best way to get it. I will say that while the print is not fantastic, it's certainly watchable. It's better than many other Alpha Video releases I've seen, but there's certainly no special features to speak of with this. If you're looking to pick up the movie on DVD, there are generally two editions that are highly regarded by fans, and those are the ones I recommend. The first would be the Millennium Edition that was put out by Elite Entertainment in 2002. This one used the highest quality source material available at the time. It completely remastered from the sound, everything is the highest quality. And it's full of special features and supplements. There's also a 2008 edition called the 40th Anniversary Edition that the Weinstein Company put out. That also has some new special features and is highly regarded by fans. The one to avoid is the 1999 release that Anchor Bay put out. Now this one, be very careful, it's a modified version of the film. It actually includes 15 minutes of newly shot footage that John Russo oversaw. George Romero had nothing to do with the release. Fans of the movie generally describe it in terms of raping or butchering the original film. It's not regarded well. Stay away from that version at all costs and pick up either the Millennium Edition or the 40th Anniversary Edition. Now, if you're looking for a Blu-ray copy, there is at least one Blu-ray version available. I don't remember who put it out, and I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to its quality. But if you're looking for it on Blu-ray, it is available. You can get it that way if you prefer. Thanks for watching the final episode of Pop Culture Beast's Halloween Horror Picks. I had a lot of fun bringing these horror movies to you, suggesting films to watch this Halloween. There were far more horror movies than I could possibly fit. We could only do 10, so you know, who knows? Maybe we'll be back next Halloween to do season 2. Please go check us out on Kickstarter. We have 1 week left in our Kickstarter campaign to raise funds for Eggs, a horror movie starring Lynn Lowry from Shivers and Duane Whitaker from Pulp Fiction. Essentially, to encourage you to go to the Kickstarter page, we have a contest on this and every episode of Halloween Horror Picks. Be the first person to go pledge $1 or more at the Eggs page, and then leave a comment in the comments section and tell us what movie is referenced in the shirt that I wore in this episode. Go do that, and we'll add a little something extra to your reward. Be sure to go like Eggs, a Horror Movie on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow Pop Culture Beast on Twitter. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Pop Culture Beast YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Watch horror movies. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween.